This is Rick Rule for Rule Investment Media, sponsors of the 2024 Natural Resources Investment Symposium, held July 7 through 11 in Boca Raton, Florida, or in the comfort and convenience of your own home via live stream. Whether you attend in person or online, please note that we're going to give you about 60 hours of intensive and valuable programming, more than you can possibly consume in the 4 days of the conference. Because of that, we're doing a series of interviews with our executives and presenters before the conference so that you can allocate your time more efficiently. Allocate your time more efficiently by learning about exhibitors that you care about before the conference, contacting the people before or during or after the conference. Further to that, all the proceedings of the conference will be recorded so that you'll have the ability to access all of the information, including the company presentations, after the conference at a time that's convenient to you. Further, with this conference, unlike any other investment conference on the planet, every single public company exhibitor has been vetted, specifically their own and my own accounts, or in accounts managed by me. Well, there's no guarantee, sadly, that just because I buy a share of stock, the stock goes up. There is a guarantee that, unlike any other investment conference in the world, every single exhibitor here has been vetted. We're going to continue this process today. I have the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Chad Peters, founder and CEO of Ridgeline Minerals. To reiterate, I am, in fact, a shareholder of Ridgeline. Chad, thank you for your efforts on behalf of shareholders, myself included. Thank you, too, for your sponsorship of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium.
Oh, thank you, Rick. I'm excited to come back this year.
Tell us something about your personal history and tell us something about how you came to form Ridgeline. How did you and Ridgeline come to be here?
Sure. Yeah. 30,000 foot view. I actually started my career working for you and Downey and what was Premier Gold Mines back in Canada. That is now i-80 Gold Corp. So luckily for me, I got to be a part of a great team as a junior geologist and kind of worked my way up the ladder with Ewan and spent about 10 years there and found about 12 million ounces of gold with our team. So got to be a part of the hard rock discovery at Equinox Gold, which is now Equinox, and was part of the McCoy Cove discovery, which is now going into development with i-80 Gold. So really got to get a feel for what true discovery could bring to both as an employee of a company and to its shareholders. And so I wanted a bit of that, wanted to get a bit of a taste of that for ourselves. So I founded Ridgeline out of my garage in 2018 with a focus on Nevada early stage exploration. Company IPO'd in 2020. Some of the key early shareholders included EMX Royalty Corp, who I believe you're very familiar with. We got our original land position out of EMX. And in that kind of, since founding, we've been able to do 2 deals with Nevada Gold Mines. Our business model has somewhat, like you could say that it's a little bit evolved into a hybrid exploration model. So I like to think we offer the best of both worlds in the early stage exploration market. We have 100% owned projects that we think have great potential to be company changing discoveries, like our Selena and our Big Blue project, which are copper and base metal plays. On top of that, we actually have 40 million US in deals with Nevada Gold Mines at 2 of our gold plays, which is the Swift and Black Ridge projects. Those are seeing significant spending over the last 3 years. 7.5 million US has been spent at Swift, with another 5 million going in the ground at Swift this year in drilling, and about 200,000 in call it, you could say, target generation being done at Black Ridge. So, we're seeing over 13.5 million US spent at just our partner projects alone in 2020 through 2024, with this year being our largest exploration budget in company history. And you would, I think, be a fan of this. 95% of that budget is being funded by our partners. So I think we have great leverage to discovery, and I think it's a very exciting play in a great jurisdiction.
Chad, one of the things I like many things about the joint venture model, but one of the things I like about it particularly is that the partner often brings more than money. Several times, I've walked through Newmont's offices in Denver, and I've been delighted to see 220 or 250 earth scientists exploring joint venture properties on my behalf, but not giving me any bill. The idea that you could internally within Ridgeline employ the range of talent that is present at Newmont or Barrick is an absolute non-starter. So I'm delighted. The other thing I like about it is the fact that I'm not reliant on the investment banks to do the due diligence. I don't care if
Correct.
investment banks like Ridgeline. They don't write you any checks. What I like is when very smart third parties do the due diligence on my behalf and back up that due diligence by writing a check. Now, am I correct to say that you're basically 100% focused in Nevada, or is that not correct?
No, that would be a correct statement. So we did had a brief foray into Idaho, which is very similar geologic environment as Nevada. We actually ended up doing a deal where we got some little bit of securities and some stock on our single gold play we had up there. We announced that in February of this year at our Robert Gulch project. We really wanted to refocus on Nevada. We think it's where some of the greatest upside is, and I totally agree with your statement. You know, like Nevada Gold Mines, for example, they were the best group, which is a Barrick and Newmont JV, by the way, for our listeners. They're the best absolute group to be exploring this. Our Swift project is 5 kilometers away from a 23 million ounce gold mine owned by Nevada Gold Mines. Our Black Ridge project is 4 kilometers away from over a 30 million ounce complex on the Carlin Trend. So who better to be using them to do our exploration than folks that intimately understand the geology in that exact area? So yeah, I think it's a perfect fit for us. It allows us to focus on our pipeline projects, bring in new deals, stake new ground. That's, if you notice, I'm actually in my camper today, out in the middle of the desert in Nevada, calling in from the camper. We're looking at staking our next big copper play, so we're pretty excited about it. So thank goodness for Starlink. So but yeah, no, it's an exciting time for Ridgeline.
So, Chad, I've been investing in Nevada going back to the Cordex Syndicate days in 1975 or 1976. There have been a
Yep.
lot of people that have crawled over the state of Nevada. How is it that you managed in such a competitive environment to acquire by staking these high quality projects? And how do you intend to continue to compete with major mining companies and juniors in that state? What's your competitive advantage in Nevada?
Our edge, right? No, well, you know, in the early days, it was our close relationship with the EMX Royalty Corp guys. So Dave Johnson, Dave Cole, and their entire team, we spun our core project out of EMX, our core portfolio out of them. Those guys, you know, they know Nevada even better than we do. They were able to stake those core projects at Swift and Black Ridge, which previously was called Carlin East. What we've been able to do since then is we've learned a lot about kind of what big companies are looking for. We really have a good understanding with our 3 years now of working directly with NGM, is we understand what majors are looking for in a project. And we've taken what we learned at Swift and Black Ridge, and we're now employing that in the copper space and the base metal space. So one of the interesting things about Nevada, you're right, it is a very mature jurisdiction. It's been walked all over, but everybody walking all over Nevada for the last 40 years, they were looking for gold plays, right? And so now what we're doing is we're going into historic porphyry districts. We're using our knowledge of the area. All three of myself and my core geology team, we're all local, right? We live within 3 to 5 hours of each project we own. And that gives us a distinct edge. We're able to go out in the field during the week, on weekends, and we're prospecting in areas where other people don't look. So I think that we have that edge in the space right now, and some good contacts to bring those projects up to major partners.
I would point out to people that are watching this interview that I'm not conducting the interview in some boardroom in London or Toronto. In fact, the CEO of the company is conducting the interview from a camper somewhere in deepest, darkest Nevada. I think probably boots on the ground has something to do with your
Yep,
success too in
absolutely.
the state of Nevada. Tell us something about the unanswered questions that you're answering in the next 12 to 18 months. Tell us something about the process of adding value and where we might see catalysts in 12 to 18 months in your portfolio.
No, absolutely. I think, the great thing about the hybrid business model that we've employed is these things take a little bit of time to pick up speed, right? So, it takes time to build these deals and build these relationships. And what we're now seeing is some very high torque exploration being done by our partners. So I think over the next 12 to 18 months at our partner projects, you're going to see millions of dollars being spent. There are minimum spending requirements within the 5 year period for Nevada Gold Mines to earn into their initial stake in the project, or else it's all given back 100% to Ridgeline, right? So you're going to see millions of dollars going in the ground by our partners. I hope that will yield a significant discovery. And I think it's important to point out, if a discovery is made at, let's say, Swift, Ridgeline retains the right to a 25% fully carried interest all the way to production. So that's a really important thing to point out. When discoveries are made in joint ventures, a lot of times the juniors end up getting kind of muscled out of their own discovery because they can't afford to participate potentially in the high spending that comes with a meaningful discovery. We've been able to minimize that risk, I think, as a company, and it's hard to put a dollar value on what a 25% fully carried interest really truly is worth. It's different in every project, but it is significant. And I think that over the next 12 to 18 months, I hope we're going to see some catalysts that move that forward. On top of that, on the pipeline side, our 100% owned port projects, as you can see, I'm in a camper. We have stakes in the truck, and we're staking the next big copper play that we think is going to really generate some excitement. We're also doing an IP survey, a deep 3D IP survey at our Big Blue project, which is a past producing high grade copper mine in Nevada. We staked it last year. Average grade of that mine was 6.2% when it was in production in 1918. So obviously, old days, guys in pickaxe and a shovel digging out of the ground, but no modern exploration has been done there. And we think that this is actually a kind of the tip of the iceberg for a larger copper district. And we're going to use the same kind of approach that like a group like Hercules Silver used. They were, originally the mine, they had a bunch of old mines at surface, right? They do a deep IP survey, identify an anomaly, their first hole hit. Now, obviously, that's a unique scenario, but I'd like to repeat that if we could. But yeah, I think that between our pipeline of projects, I think copper is a really exciting space to be in right now, and we're kind of leaning into that. And at the same time, we're also seeing meaningful exploration being done at our gold projects with gold commodities ripping as well. So I think it's a great mix over the next 12 months.
Chad, how much are investors paying for all this opportunity? What is your market cap? And oh, by the way, how much cash do you have to continue to advance your company and your
Right.
projects?
Well, partially, thanks to you and our most recent financing. We actually just closed a $2.2 million Canadian financing at 12 cents on May 7th. We had great participation from existing shareholders, yourself included. Thank you again. And we've seen a really nice torque on the stock since then. I think we're up almost 50% since closing that financing. We're sitting on about 2.3 million Canadian in total right now. And the great thing is like I said, we're seeing we're talking right now, I'm going to talk in Canadian dollars. We're seeing almost 7.5 million Canadian being spent by our partners this year. We'll put in about another 500,000 Canadian in the ground to advance our projects to drill ready stage at Big Blue. We're working on permitting initiatives at Salina to get it to an advanced permit stage for advanced exploration, and then we're staking new ground. So, for every shareholder dollar that goes in the ground of Ridgelines, you're seeing a massive torque on that, 5-6x on that spend. So pretty exciting.
And your current market cap, roughly?
Oh, sorry, I didn't answer your question. We're sitting at around 18 million Canadian today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chad, if people are interested in exploration, there's probably no better place on the planet to explore. If
Yep.
people are interested in what you're doing and want to learn more about Ridgeline, who do they contact and how do they reach that person?
Well, I'm pretty hands-on with the investor relations, so I am the primary point of contact. I'd suggest that people reach out to me at cpeters@ridgelineminerals.com, or my personal cell number, call me anytime, is 775-304-9773. And I'd love to set up a Zoom call and we can walk you through everything that we're doing.
Note that when the CEO is out in the desert in Nevada, it may be that he's delayed a day getting back to you. Chad, we
Yeah, it's
we
possible.
appreciate your focus on all aspects of the business on our behalf, and we appreciate too your ongoing support and sponsorship of the Natural Resources Investment Symposium. I look forward to hosting you in Boca Raton.
I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks a lot.